And today we are going to cover advantage and disadvantage essay, which is also known as outweigh essay. Whether there is a higher contribution of advantages, the benefits or the positivity of something is more rather than the disadvantages, or the disadvantages means the cons of something is more severe than the advantages or the benefits or the positivity. So in this essay, in this lessons, you are going to know or going to learn how you are going to produce or how you are going to write a band 9 answer for the advantages and disadvantages essays. I have taken an example of tourism in modern world, and we are going to cover this topic in this part of our lecture, and you will learn how you are going to write such type of essay. So basically, in this essay, all advantages and disadvantages, your risk is to describe positivity of tourism or the negative side of tourism, and you need to give your opinion. So in this essay, simply you can see a question will be given, and you need to learn effective ways to quickly produce ideas for your answers. And you are going to learn the band 9 answer for advantage and disadvantage essays in your IELTS exam. IELTS advantage and disadvantage advantages question sample. For example, there is a question. A lot of places in the world rely on tourism as a main source of income. So in most countries, there is a tourism. Tourism is specifically for generating revenues. Unfortunately, tourism can also be a source of problems if it is not managed correctly. If it's not managed correctly, then there will be some kinds of severe problems the country has to face. So you need to describe the advantages and disadvantages of tourism in the modern world. And do you think that benefits of tourism outweigh its drawback? Do you think the advantages are more to be highlighted than the disadvantages? So in this essay, the topic is tourism. Of course, the topic question will vary, but ideal answer structure is the same for all advantage and disadvantage essays, which we have discussed previously. So for the advantage and disadvantage essay, first of all, you need to produce the ideas how you are going to write up. And I have already given you the tip that you have 40 minutes and you need to pick up the first 4 to 5 minutes from those 40 minutes, and you need to plan and organize your essay, what you are going to write up. You know that you need to write a precise and concise, well-defined answers. You do not try to be so fancy. You do not need to over exaggerate. It's cut to the chase, means you need to write the answer in a very well defined and concise way that it gives a meaning, a main central idea what you are thinking about the problem or about the statement which has been already given to you. So now you are going to produce the ideas. In this way, you'll know what to write about, and your answer will be more coherent, more cohesive, and well structured. In case of advantages and disadvantages essays, it's totally depend upon you whether you can take 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages. You can take 3 advantages and 3 disadvantages of the given issues. Now let's think about the advantages and disadvantages of tourism in this era, in this modern world. So there are manifold advantages of tourism. It's going to boost the country's economy. The revenue, it's depending upon tourism. In the winter season, more and more tourists come in the northern side of Pakistan, and Pakistan generates higher profits or higher revenues. Also, we have seen that in past, media has played a significant role to create a negative image of Pakistan by associating Pakistan with the terrorism. So tourism is a way which clears the image of Pakistan, and in this way we can not only generate maximum revenues, but also we are going to spread the message of peace and harmony, that Pakistan is a country where most of the tourists can come and they are safe and secure to visit Pakistan. So we can promote Pakistan in this way. Now there are new job openings for local people. More tourism comes, so there are more chances that we require good number of people in order to work efficiently to help out in tourism. Now there are more opportunities to discover new places for individual traveler. There are many places in Pakistan and many places in outside Pakistan or other regions of Pakistan which has not been discovered yet. There are people who are discovering these places. The places are not usual, are not well known, but now when they have discovered, they become so famous that people are now going and visiting. So there are opportunities to discover new places, and it also promote and it also boosts the business of tourist guide. Okay, now on the other hand, there are some major disadvantages associated with tourism. More and more archaic buildings or Asian buildings are demolished, has been knocked down in order to make new destination for the tourists. For example, if you can see the example of World Expo 2020, which was held in United Arab Emirates, 10 years before starting the expo, the government of the United Arab Emirates, they have demolished all the old buildings. They have demolished old archaic buildings, all those vintage buildings, in order to build new skyscrapers and new buildings. So this is somehow a drawback of tourism, because they have their own historical identity, and you are going to ruin this historical identity in order to make new buildings. Now there are more illegal economic activities which will take place in the country if tourism come. Also, there are local people can experience loss of privacy. Loss of privacy. Now,
अच्छा, मेरा एक सवाल है यहाँ पे।
sure.
अच्छा, मेरा सवाल ये है कि हमारी जो अजम्पशंस होंगी एडवांटेजेस या डिसएडवांटेजेस की, क्या वो एक्चुअल फैक्ट्स पे या उसकी एक्चुअल फिगर्स पे डिपेंडेंट होंगी? या फॉर एग्जांपल एक पॉइंट है कि यहाँ पे कि इलीगल
मुझे
इकोनॉमिक
1 मिनट
एक्टिविटी।
दीजिए, मैं फैन ऑफ कर दूंगी, मुझे आपकी आवाज बिल्कुल भी नहीं आ रही है। 1 सेकंड दीजिए मुझे।
श्योर श्योर।
चलिए जी, आप पूछिए।
मेरा सवाल ये है कि हमारे जो भी अजम्पशंस होंगे एडवांटेजेस या डिसएडवांटेजेस के या ओपिनियन ऐसे के जो भी होगा, उसमें जितने भी हमारे अजम्पशंस होंगी, क्या वो एक्चुअल फैक्ट्स एंड फिगर्स पे डिपेंडेंट होने ज़रूरी हैं? फॉर एग्जांपल, जो आपने यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है कि डेवलपमेंट ऑफ इलीगल इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज़, यहाँ पे फॉर एग्जांपल हम पाकिस्तान की अगर एग्जांपल लेते हैं, तो क्या ये इलीगल इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज़ होनी ज़रूरी है पाकिस्तान में डिसएडवांटेज के तौर पे, या हम इसको अज्यूम भी कर सकते हैं कि पाकिस्तान में इलीगल इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटीज़ हो रही हैं?
ठीक है।
तो assumptions के लिए कोई थंब रूल है, या वो हम मतलब जो भी डिसएडवांटेजेस है वो हम क्रिएट भी कर सकते हैं अपनी थिंकिंग से? मेरा सवाल ये है।
You can create those disadvantages, but it should be based on the facts and figures. It should be relevant. ऐसा ना हो आप कोई ऐसा फैक्ट दे दें जिसको आप जस्टिफाई नहीं कर पाए, क्योंकि मोर ओवर व्हेन यू आर गिविंग अ पॉइंट, a disadvantage, you need to give an example. Example is going to justify that you are giving a disadvantage. For example, the development of illegal economic activities, when more and more tourists come, क्या होता है, यहाँ पे फेयर्स बढ़ा दिए जाते हैं जो कि जस्टिफाइड नहीं है, जो कि फेयर होने नहीं चाहिए, जो गवर्नमेंट ने निकाले हैं, जो मैच ही नहीं करते हैं हमारी मॉनेटरी और फिस्कल पॉलिसीज से।
यानी कि वो रियल लाइफ से हम मैच करना जरूरी है हमें।
एग्जैक्टली, इट्स टोटली डिपेंड अपॉन योर एक्सपीरियंस एंड नॉलेज। वो आपको हमेशा लिख के देते हैं कि आप अपने नॉलेज और एक्सपीरियंस के हिसाब से जो है ना आंसर कीजिए। तो आपने वो चीज़ें बतानी है जो आपने खुद एक्सपीरियंस की हैं या देखी हैं, या करंट अफेयर में ऐसा कुछ है, बिकॉज उन्होंने कहा मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड। नाउ यू नीड टू जर्नलाइज सच थिंग। आप क्या करेंगे, आप इसको जर्नलाइज करेंगे, क्योंकि ये वर्ल्ड वाइड हो रहा है। इट्स नॉट ओनली हेयर इन द एशियन कंट्रीज, बट इफ यू आर गोइंग टू विजिट यूरोपियन कंट्रीज, और इफ यू आर गोइंग टू विजिट थाईलैंड, बैंकॉक, वहाँ पे बहुत हो रहा है। इवन स्नैचिंग इतनी होती है, आपको पता है कोई भी टूरिस्ट वहाँ पे, कुछ ऐसे रेड अलर्ट एरियाज हैं जहाँ पे वो विजिट कर ही नहीं सकते। even Thailand में, even Bangkok में. So there are some areas which are not safe and secure for the tourists to go and visit such places. They need a group of people to go along with them. So ये होता है. दूसरा क्या होता है, अगर आप देखें ड्यूरिंग ट्रैवलिंग क्या होता है कि बहुत सारी क्या होते हैं कि जो एक्चुअल गुड या प्रोडक्ट की प्राइस होती है ना, वो टूरिस्ट से ज़्यादा चार्ज करते हैं, ये देख के कि टूरिस्ट आया कहाँ से है. जो लोकल बिजनेसेस हैं या लोकल फ्रेंचाइज है, वो इस तरह से करते हैं. तो इट्स नॉट, इट्स इलीगल, बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट ने उनको ये राइट नहीं दिया है. तो ये बहुत होता है. दूसरा क्या है, प्राइवेसी का. हाँ, प्राइवेसी जो है वो कहीं ना कहीं जो है वो कॉम्प्रोमाइज होती है. दे सफर विद द प्राइवेसी, द लोकल पीपल, द लोकल रेजिडेंट ऑफ द एरिया. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ यू गो टू द नॉर्दर्न साइड्स ऑफ पाकिस्तान, वहाँ पे क्या होता है, वहाँ पे बहुत सारे टूरिस्ट एक साथ आते हैं. तो क्या होता है कि वहाँ के लोकल लोग जो है वो थोड़ा सा क्या होते हैं कि लोगों के आने की वजह से थोड़ा सा डिस्टर्ब हो जाते हैं. अच्छा, now after we have collected some ideas, it's time to go and pen down all those points in a very concise way. Now you have the structure. The structure would be same for all the essays. Now it's depending upon you how many advantages and disadvantages you are going to cover. Also, today I am going to share 2 ideas how you are going to write up advantage and disadvantage essay. Now it's totally depend upon you. You can select one from these 2 types of essays, the essay structure, which one suits you better, which one is more convincing for you to write. Okay, so in this structure, we are going to write a 4 paragraph essay in which body part 1 we are covered 2 advantages and or 3 advantages, and in body paragraph 2 we are going to cover 2 or 3 disadvantages, and then the conclusion where we are going to sum up the idea with our personal opinion. The personal opinion is going to base upon whether you think the positivity is more and that's going to outweigh the negativity, or the negativity is going to outweigh the positivity. Now there is a tip. Before starting to write your essays, you need to decide what you think. Does tourism have more advantages or disadvantages? Because your opinion is going to base on this idea. Now it's going to vary from person to person, and it's depending upon how frequent you are visiting or you are traveling. A person like me, I'm not oftenly travel. It's once in a blue moon I travel outside my city or outside my hometown, or I visit any countryside. So for me, I think the advantages are more than the disadvantages, because I didn't have any past bad experience or any detrimental experience which is related to tourism or which is related to traveling. So now you need to make accent on your opinion in one of the body paragraph. And in this essay, because my thought is more advantages are associated with tourism, so I'm going to write more advantages and I'm going to emphasize on advantages. Now introduction, which is the hook sentence or paraphrase. Paraphrase, you are going to write 1 to 2 sentences. In the first sentence, you are going to paraphrase the question, restate the problem. You need to change the wording of the problem. So how I'm going to change? I have started from nowadays, because it's about the modern world. उन्होंने question में ही mention कर दिया था modern world. So it's about the present. It's not about the past. It's not about the future. It's about the present. Nowadays, tourism generates a significant portion of national income, because it's about the economic benefits of a country. So it's going to be a national income or a national revenue for many countries. But it has certain drawbacks too. Okay, in sentence 2, you need to describe in your essay that the examiner will get such ideas, such main central ideas from your writing. This essay will examine the advantage and disadvantage of tourism and provide a logical conclusion. A logical conclusion which is based on facts and figures, because you are thinking pragmatically. Okay, now you can write, you can change advantages and disadvantages to merits and demerits or pros and cons. Now come to body paragraph 1. Body paragraph 1, which is totally depending upon the advantages. So in sentence 1, you are going to state two main advantages which I have discussed before. The two main advantages of developed tourism industry are boost in country's economy and a large number of new job opening for the local people. It open the job opportunities for the local people, the local residents, because the number of hotel and restaurants are going to open in such areas, and they need worker, they need waiters, they need the chefs, and they need the janitorial staff as well. So the more new buildings or new restaurants or new areas are going to be discovered, so more and more people come and join the job market. In sentence 2 to 4. Yes.
अच्छा, मेरा एक सवाल सर ये भी है कि हमें जितने एडवांटेजेस लेने होंगे, फॉर एग्जांपल हम 2 एडवांटेजेस ले रहे हैं,
जी।
तो उतने ही सेम नंबर के हमें डिसएडवांटेजेस भी लेने होंगे, या फॉर एग्जांपल हम 3 एडवांटेजेस और 2 डिसएडवांटेज भी ले सकते हैं?
अच्छा, इट्स टोटली डिपेंड अपॉन, अगर आप एडवांटेज पे एम्फेसाइज कर रहे हैं ना, तो नंबर ऑफ एडवांटेजेस आपके ज़्यादा होने चाहिए और डिसएडवांटेजेस कम होने चाहिए। अगर आप नीचे जाके ये कहेंगे ना कि नेगेटिविटी ज़्यादा है, तो आप डिसएडवांटेज बढ़ा सकते हैं। अब आप चाहें तो दोनों में बैलेंस भी क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, इक्विलिब्रियम क्रिएट कर सकते हैं कि जितने नंबर ऑफ एडवांटेज लें उतने ही नंबर ऑफ डिसएडवांटेज ले लें। इट्स टोटली डिपेंड अपॉन यू, देयर इज
अगर
नो
हमारे
हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल।
अगर हमारे एडवांटेजेस और डिसएडवांटेजेस बैलेंस्ड हैं, यानी 2 एडवांटेजेस 2 डिसएडवांटेजेस हैं, तो उस सूरत हाल में हमें एम्फेसाइज ज़्यादा उस पर करना होगा जिस तरफ हमारा फोकस है ज़्यादा। ये फॉर एग्जांपल एडवांटेजेस है तो उस पर फोकस ज़्यादा होगा हमारा।
एग्जैक्टली ऐसे ही है। ठीक है, नाउ सेंटेंस नंबर 2 to 4, you need to explain the first advantage. You need to explain the first advantage, which is boosting of the country's economy. The more revenue, the more finances, the more capital is going to be built up is by spending money on a wide range of services, for example hotels, amusements, transportation, food and medical services. More and more tourists are going to come in your country. They are going to take all those services which are available, the facilities and the amenities your country is going to provide. For example, if they are going to become sick, they are going to visit the tertiary care hospitals to take the medical facilities. They need the food, they need the accommodation, so they are going to stay in a youth hostel, or if they want, they are going to stay in a hotel. Maybe it's a 4-star, it's a 5-star. It's totally depend upon their preferences. Also, they are going to visit the museum, the monuments, or the ancient buildings, or they are going to visit the other facilities as well. They are going to use your transportation. So this is how you are going to build your economy, and it's going to generate maximum capita, and this way tourism yields an additional income, greatly supporting the country's economy. So this is how you are going to explain or elaborate the first advantage with an example. Here the number of facilities, by mentioning the facilities of hotel, amusement, transportation, food or other facilities which you need to write. These are the examples how the business is going to flourish. Now the sentence 5 to 7. Here you are going to explain the second advantage. The second advantage was increased number of employment. The more job opportunities will be created, so people are going to avail or grab the chance of getting the employment by bringing new jobs. For instance, the influx of tourists results in a large demand of restaurants worker, tour guides or hotel staff, and employees of retail services. So this is how the business owners or those who have the authority, business authorities, they are going to hire more people for these positions. Now the body paragraph 2, where you are going to highlight the cons of such statement. However, In the first sentence, we are going to state two main disadvantages. However, tourism also has some severe or some major disadvantages like destruction of popular tourist destination and developments of illegal economic activities. You can give the example of Dubai Expo. When World Expo 2020 was held in the United Arab Emirates in the city of Dubai. Before organizing such expo, they require a decade of changing the infrastructure, so they have completely demolished all those Asian buildings or all those old buildings which need the renovation. Even they have not renovated them, they have completely demolished, they have destructed them, and they have built new skyscrapers, and they have built new buildings. So you can give such example as well. Okay, so and then the developments of illegal economic activities as well. Okay, Asian buildings, temples and monuments struggle to cope with a vast amount of visitors, traffic and get damaged. This happens in many countries. Also, the large number of tourists can cause environmental problems. For example, when people go on a spiritual visit in other countries where there are some shrines, some tombs, and because of the traffic of those tourism, mishap occurs. Some severe accidents occur, and इतनी भगदड़ होती है कि लोग, क्या होता है कि उनसे क्या होता है कि कुछ ना कुछ हादसा हो जाता है, और क्या होता है उससे बहुत ज़्यादा जो है वो जाने चली जाती है, कुछ ना कुछ हो जाता है. ऐसे भी इंसिडेंट्स बहुत हुए. ठीक है, फॉर इंस्टेंस व्हेन प्लेसेस ऑफ इंटरेस्ट आर ओवर क्राउडेड, नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज ऑफन बिकम ओवर एक्सप्लॉइटेड. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, when people in Pakistan, they visited northern side, they litter anywhere around the lakes of Saiful Muluk, and there are other lakes as well. They litter and they throw the garbage anywhere because they know there is no such law and order in Pakistan. There is no strict law and order, and there is no surveillance in Pakistan. So they have no fear, they are not afraid of being caught up. So this is how they are going to exploit the natural resources of our country. So you can give the example of such exploitation as well. Now, sentence 5 to 7, you need to explain the second advantage, and you need to give an example how those illegal activities take place. For example, the criminal issues are increased. There are many incidences of thefts, robbery or snatching that occurs. Even the naxalists, when they know, naxalist आप होता है ना, जो बाहर से आए हुए लोग जो जुराइम पेशा होते हैं ना, इंतहा पसंद लोग, when they know that this is a season when the tourists are going to visit such place or such region, they enter with the desire or with the aim that they are going to perform such crime. There are, when you flick through the newspaper or when you see the news, you will get to know that such incidents are increasing day by day in the seasons of tourism in Pakistan or in other Asian countries, or even not only particularly in Asian countries, even the Western countries, it's more common. This is the problem the world is coping up with. This is common in everywhere. Okay, so in sentence number 5 to 7, what's more, tourism can create more serious situations where criminal issues are involved. The presence of a considerable number of tourists with a lot of money to spend and often carrying valuables such as cameras and jewelry increase the attraction for criminals, bring with it activities like robbery and drug dealing. Okay, peddlers are those people जो drugs provide करते हैं, and Pakistan is going at the top of the chart जहाँ पे ड्रग्स अब बहुत कॉमन है क्योंकि पेडलर बहुत कॉमन है जो ड्रग सप्लायर्स हैं. तो जब ये टूरिज्म आते हैं, टूरिज्म बढ़ता है और टूरिस्ट आते हैं, तो वो उनके क्योंकि कॉमन होता है ड्रग्स वगैरह ये कंज्यूम करना, तो क्या होता है कि ये जो एक्टिविटी है ना, ये भी बढ़ जाती है. और आपको पता है इसके पीछे पूरा एक माफिया है. आप चाहकर भी, अगर चाहें भी ना, तो इसे बंद नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि इसके पीछे बड़े बड़े लोग हैं और ये सब हो रहा होता है. ड्रग डीलिंग, पेडलर, ये सब चीज़ें चल रही होती हैं. ठीक है. Now then sentence 8 where you want to make an accent on your opinion. You have already given the disadvantages, but your emphasis and your central idea is that you are more focused or more prone towards the advantages. So now you are going to put an highlight, or you are going to put a stress on such point that however proper hospitality management and correct usage of tourism revenue by the local government can eliminate these disadvantages. Disadvantages are there, it will be there, but if government is going to take the preventive measures, and even if we are going to increase, or if we are going to improve our hospitality, and we are going to provide adequate management facilities, we can eradicate or we can cope up with these disadvantages at all. So you are going to emphasize by giving this sentence 8 where you are going to accent on your opinion, use the opinion that tourism has more advantages. Now conclusion, the last point, the last paragraph is your conclusion. In conclusion, you are going to write 1 to 2 sentences only. Don't try to make your conclusion more exaggerating or over exaggerating. Sentence 1 or 2 is briefly restate the advantages and disadvantage. Now make sure you are going to give the disadvantage and advantage which you have already given in the body paragraph 1 and 2. No new disadvantage or no new advantage, because you have not described such new disadvantage or advantage. You need to give the summary of the advantage or disadvantage which you have already discussed in the above body. To conclude, although tourism has certain disadvantages like destructive effects and growth of crime rate, it has an extremely positive impact on country's economy and provides a large number of new jobs for the local people. This is how you are going to write the same sentences, but you have just reworded some words. And then you need to give your final opinion. Okay, now make sure that don't use I think, because I think is very overused. Try to use some other expression or some other word. I believe, as far as I concern, in my opinion, or I strongly agree to the point, I strongly believe, I strongly reckon. This is how you are going to write. I believe that these benefits of tourism outweigh its drawback. You can write by this way. You can write, I strongly or I firmly believe that the positivity of tourism outweigh its drawback. I personally believe that the advantages of tourism outweigh its disadvantages. As far as I concern, the benefits or the pros of tourism outweigh its cons. So this is how you can write. It's totally depend upon you. There are many ways to write such ending of your essay, but make sure that the ending is going to be very concise. You only need to write the answer or end the answer in 1 or 2 lines. So this is the first structure we have discussed. Now what we have discussed, I have just I have gone through and I have summarized. This is how you are going to write. The total number of words are 299, and this is a 9-band answer sample. Okay, now I'm giving you a task. You need to write on your own way. It's totally depend upon your expertise कि आप कैसा लिखते हैं. Okay. Now there is another way how you are going to write. This is another way. Now let's take a look. We are going to go and look how we are going to write a advantage and disadvantage essay in another way. It's also a 9-band answer. Okay. So first of all, the formula when you are going to plan and organize. You need to write the introduction to the topic. Then you need to think about 2 advantages to the situation. And then you need to provide a clear example. Number 3, 2 disadvantage. Think about the good support. Good support is also the epitome or the example which you are going to state in the paragraph. And then write a short conclusion. But now in this template, you have 6 paragraphs. In the previous template, you have 4 paragraphs. The number of paragraphs are increased here. In paragraph 1, you are going to give your hook sentence, which is your introduction. In paragraph 2, you are going to write 1 advantage with example. Paragraph 3, other advantage with example. Paragraph 4, one disadvantage with example. Paragraph 5, one disadvantage with example. Paragraph 6, conclusion, sum up, and then your opinion. Now let's take a look on the template of the introduction. So in the introduction, you are going to start by writing nowadays, and then you are going to write a journal sentence about the topic. The general sentence about the topic is tourism. Tourism is more common nowadays, and most of the countries are relying on tourism to generate capital, to generate profits in their national income. For many people, it create opportunities, but however, there are both pros and cons to deciding to this. In this essay, I will discuss some of the reason why tourism has some major challenges and how we are going to be cope up with such challenges. So this is how you are going to write. Now paragraph 2, in paragraph 2 you are going to give one advantage plus the example. So you are going to start by, let's begin by looking at the advantage of, and then you are going to write the topic sentence. Now you need to be very focused that you are going to reword, you are going to paraphrase. बिल्कुल वैसे ही नहीं लिखना है जैसे कि आपको क्वेश्चन में दिया, आपको थोड़ी वर्डिंग इधर उधर करनी है, बट मीनिंग चेंज नहीं होने चाहिए. सो अब आप क्योंकि फर्स्ट एडवांटेज देने लगे, सो यू आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट बाय वन ऑफ द मेन पॉजिटिव्स ऑफ tourism is that it generates the capita in the national income of different countries. और फिर आप उसको elaborate करेंगे, ठीक है, कैसे, क्योंकि यहाँ पे क्या होता है, जब लोग आते हैं तो इम्यूनिटीज और फैसिलिटीज जो लोकल गवर्नमेंट प्रोवाइड करती है वो यूज करते हैं. देन आफ्टर द एग्जाम्पल यू नीड टू मेक एन कंक्लूजन ऑफ सच एडवांटेज. उसी एडवांटेज को आप कंक्लूड कर दें, ठीक है, कि फैसिलिटीज जब होंगी लोग यूज करेंगे तो क्या होगा कि अच्छा खासा अमाउंट में क्या होगा कि वो जो रेवेन्यू है वो ऊपर आएगा. फिर पैराग्राफ 3 जिसमें आपने सेकेंड एडवांटेज देना है कि पीपल ग्रैब द जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज इवन दोज हु आर जॉबलेस, they have the opportunities to get jobs because the local franchise or the local businesses require skilled people associated for the jobs of tourism. Okay, to facilitate tourist. तो आप वहाँ पे यहाँ पे इसमें क्या करेंगे, आपने सिर्फ क्या करना है, इस टेम्पलेट में ऐड करना है, सेकेंड डी के बाद एडवांटेज ऐड करना है, टेक के बाद एग्जाम्पल ऐड करनी है, इन एडिशन के बाद उसको कंक्लूड करना है. पैराग्राफ 4 जिसके अंदर आप क्या करेंगे, डिसएडवांटेज देंगे. अब क्योंकि आप ना कॉन्ट्रेरी में बात कर रहे हैं तो आपने क्या करना है, टर्निंग टू द अदर साइड ऑफ द आर्ग्यूमेंट. क्योंकि अब क्या हो रहा है कि आपने पिक्चर की एक साइड दिखाई है, अब आप पिक्चर की दूसरी साइड की तरफ बात कर रहे हैं. सो टर्निंग टू द अदर साइड ऑफ द पिक्चर और टर्निंग टू द अदर साइड ऑफ द आर्ग्यूमेंट. नाउ यू नीड टू राइट द फर्स्ट डिसएडवांटेज. फॉर एग्जाम्पल द फर्स्ट डिसएडवांटेज इज द इंक्रीज नंबर ऑफ क्राइम रेट्स इन द कंट्री which is associated in the season when most of the people visit your country or the other countries as well. Now to be more precise, you are going to write first disadvantage, you are going to elaborate some more sentences for the first disadvantage. Then you are going to give the example, of Naxalist, how they entered with the aim to target the tourists because they know they have valuable or belongings such as jewelry, such as cash in terms of dollars or pounds or euros, and they know they have a worth. Even they have gadgets such as laptops or smartwatch or some other gadgets as well, tablets. You can mention such name of the gadgets as well. And then you are going to conclude such disadvantage. तो आप बता सकते हैं in the season of tourism, when we flick through the newspapers or when we see the news on the news channels, we got to know that the number of crimes are increasing in those seasons as well. In paragraph 5, you are going to give your second disadvantage with an example. And then the second disadvantage was the demolished of the old buildings. So this is how the country is going to lose its historical identity. They are going to make new buildings, but the old buildings have a long history and we are completely ruined, we are going to uh, uh, demolish or knock down such buildings, so the buildings are going to lose such history. So this is how we are going to write our second disadvantage, and we are going to give an example and how this is challenging if we are not going to cope up. सो क्या होगा कि पुरानी जो बिल्डिंग्स हैं वो हिस्ट्री नहीं रह जाएंगी, सिर्फ वो क्या होगा, सिर्फ किताबों तक महदूद हो जाएगी. इट्स ऑल गोइंग टू बी ग्रीक फॉर अस. हम क्या करेंगे, ग्रीक फॉर अस इज अ इडियम, जिसका मतलब ये है कि हम उसको समझ ही नहीं पाएंगे. हम पढ़ तो रहे हैं लेकिन जब हमें वो देखने को ही नहीं मिलेगी तो क्या फायदा रह जाएगा. And then last paragraph 6 is a conclusion. All things considered, आप यहाँ से शुरू करेंगे and then you need to give the summary. Although there are some severe disadvantages associated with the tourism, but there are more advantages which are more highlighted, or which can bring into the limelight to create a positive image of the country in the eye of world, or in to bring it in on a global level.